I have a returning guest on the podcast today, my dear friend Terri Cole. I'm obsessed with this woman. I'm obsessed with her. I love sitting down with her and talking all things relationships, boundaries, how high-functioning women like all of us who listen to this show can really improve our lives, our businesses, our relationships by setting powerful boundaries to freaking reclaim our life force and actually pour it into something that's so much more life-giving than always saying yes or always saying no, or like saying yes to the things that we don't want to do and whatever it is. Like sometimes the energy can get so heavy in our bodies and we begin to feel so resentful. And because we can do it all, sometimes we think we should do it all, and then we just burn ourselves out. So I brought her back on because this conversation honestly feels so alive in my world right now of helping women reclaim their energy so they can actually pour it into the things that are life-giving and that bring more joy and money and just fun and excitement and creativity into their lives. We talk about how we can hold people accountable and really state our boundaries from a place of love. We talk about what are the essential boundaries that we need in order to release ourselves from feeling burnt out and resentful. Oh my gosh. And then we went into fighting dirty and how fighting dirty in our relationships actually erodes trust and does so much harm. And she gave really epic pointers of how we can begin to really communicate our needs and resolve things that feel activated in our system through love and compassion, not through just like throwing fire. It was so good, you guys. We went through the 3 Qs of clarity, how to actually like really understand where our triggers came from, why we have them still in our body, and how we can begin to clear them and move them through this. Oh my God, this episode was so good. Like the whole time I'm interviewing her, I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. So many like heartgasms, braingasms. Oh, and we talked about codependency with our businesses as well. If you are a female founder or a female entrepreneur, whether you have a massive team or one team member, we can develop codependent relationships with our business. I shared a little bit about pause and how I was, feeling kind of codependent on pause for a little while, and how I've really paid attention to cleaning up the energy around that codependency so that I can feel just freedom in myself, in my business, et cetera, et cetera. It was so good. I freaking love this episode. All right, reminder, Women in Wealth is coming to San Diego November 20th and 21st. This is my 2-day experience. I am bringing women together to help them activate their abundance, clear any like residual, archaic scarcity, limited thinking from their life so they can really step in to their dreams. At Pause, we have this thing called I Am Possible Dream. The dream that feels and looks impossible to the outside world, but you know in your soul that you are meant to bring it into the world. The whole idea of Women in Wealth is to activate each other's dreams, amplify each other's visions, and really create an environment where we are literally energetically calibrating to the frequency of higher wealth in a short amount of time. I promise you, this is my promise to you. You are going to leave that event not only with a whole community of like women who get it, who are on this path with you. You're going to develop like seriously your best friends at this event, but you are going to leave as a changed woman feeling so energetically aligned and ready to call in your $1 million year in 2026. You do not want to sleep on this. Get your booty in the room. It's going to be ridiculously fun and just like, I can't even. I've been tuning into the vibration of this event for months now, and I'm like, I can't even handle how amazing it's going to be. So head on over to pausebreathwork.com/wealth. That's pausebreathwork.com/wealth. Tickets are going fast, so get your ticket and let's frickin' go.
Can't be contained.
Terri Cole, welcome back to the Can't Be Contained podcast. How you doing?
Hi, Sam. I'm so psyched to be back.
I love dropping in with you. I love your vibe. I love how down to earth you are. I love how you take these like complex, highly emotional, charged situations and just like break it down. I almost feel like you take these very big concepts that people really struggle with and you're just like, dude, just stop doing this. And the way you deliver, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I should stop doing that. Like I have this memory of being at Kathy Heller's house on the couch with you, and I was spinning out because we just got engaged, and I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? And my like, I need to run away was real on high alert. And the way that you just coached me in that moment was as if you were telling me, you know, how to do laundry. And it just took this big thing that felt so intense. And you're like, no, dude, just do this. And I'm like, oh my God, just do that. And so I just love the way you teach. I love the way you be. I love the way you embody what you teach. And it's just such a freaking joy to hang with you. So here we are.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
I want to start us off with how to act. Like, let's break it down. You are like the boundary queen. This is like your body of work. You are the world's top expert in this. Just, you've been doing this forever and really helping particularly women find their voice when it comes to boundaries and actually like saying yes when we mean yes and saying no when we mean no. And I think for so many women, because we have these archetypes of being the people pleaser and like everyone needs to like us, that we just don't set boundaries, and it creates so much resentment and frustration and just heaviness in our bodies. Can we like make this so simple of like, how do we actually set boundaries with the people that we love while staying in connection?
Okay, well, let's just establish what a boundary is, because I think that there's a ton of confusion around all of this. So according to me, right, I want you to think about your boundaries as your own personal rules of engagement. This is just how we let people know what's okay with us and what's not okay with us. Your boundaries are made up of your preferences, your limits, and your deal breakers. So not all boundaries are created equal, right? But they're all important, because your preferences, your limits, and your deal breakers are also the things that make you uniquely you as a human being. And so that's why it's really important that we know them and that we communicate them. And I think therein lies the rub for a lot of people. A lot of clients who come see me or take my courses or in my mastermind, they don't even know their preferences, their limits, and their deal breakers. And then those who do not have, they are not fluent in the language of boundaries. So they don't know how to express their preferences, their limits, and their deal breakers in their relationships.
Okay, so how do we actually begin to define what our boundaries are? Like, how do we even begin that journey?
There's a list that I give you in the beginning of Boundary Blocks, my first book, and I teach it, and I've taught it online too. People can find it. We could put it in the show notes, where you just create this list. It's a big ongoing list called the okay and not okay list. So what we start to do is we start looking in all areas of our life: romantic relationships, family of origin, friendships, health, sex, finances, career, spirituality, physical fitness, all of these areas of our life, how we're living, right? What's happening in our home. And we start looking and realizing what is okay and what's not okay. Or another way of doing it is asking the question, what am I tolerating? Because when we start to identify areas, even small ones, where we're sort of tolerating more than we want to, even if it's something little. Let's say you have an office and there's a light on the ceiling, and you have a really like bright, caustic, terrible light bulb in there. And every time you turn it on, you're like, oh, I should really change that shit. I can't stand that. Ugh.
It's my worst nightmare. I hate bad lighting.
Same. Can't. I just live in the dark. But
when I go to Airbnbs that are within driving distance, Terri, I bring my own lights. It's so ridiculous, but like I can't do white lights. Okay, keep going.
Same. But even that is something that when we start to prioritize our preferences, our limits, and our deal breakers, even in those small ways where you change that light, what you're doing is you are signaling to the universe that what you think and how you feel and what you want matters to you. Right? I don't need someone else to give me permission to change that light bulb. I can change it myself. I have my clients look at, how do you feel about your bed? Like, do you love your bed? Do you treat it like this? If you love nice sheets, but you don't have nice sheets, get nice sheets. Right? Like, start thinking about your own preferences, your own pleasure. So it's really getting to know ourselves. And I feel like for a lot of women, there's been a lot of conditioning, because a lot of times people will ask the question like, why don't I know how to do this? And, we just have to trust that we were all just indoctrinated into the cult of nice.
Yeah.
And that this was more important. Being authentic was not even on the fucking table. Being nice was more important. Placating, being compliant. Where's my happy girl? Turn that frown around. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So we were conditioned out of having preferences or limits or deal breakers. Because now you're difficult. Now you're hysterical. Now you're a bitch. Now you're, right? So we go into the
100%.
boundary game, right, at a deficit from our home training, most of us. Most of us were raised and praised to be self-abandoning codependents.
Here's where I get twisted when I'm setting boundaries is what is the when I'm feeling something in my system, my truth versus my trigger. Because there's some things where I'm like, I don't like that. But is it coming from a place of wounding or is it coming from a place of like my alignment?
Think about boundaries as what am I going to do, right? Yeah. Boundaries are what's working for me, what's not working for me, right? Your boundaries, they don't require someone else to do something different. You can ask them to, but we have to understand what's happening for us. And I think that my truth or my trigger is a really good sort of short way of thinking about it. Because here's the thing. Part of being in a long-term relationship with someone is also being sensitive to and compassionate about their triggers or their activation points, right? I stay away from calling them triggers because that sounds very trauma, big T trauma. And as a therapist, it doesn't always have to be.
Totally.
But being activated, like something, you will have an amplified response to something. And so the way that I walk you through it in my body of work is that to understand exactly what you're saying is that we do a way deep dive. We got to go in before we go out. So if I have a feeling that you just described like this, I really do not like that, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But then I look at the situation and go, okay, this seems like a bit of a amplified response. Let me go backwards. Let me ask myself. So I have these two tools that we can use, but one is the 3 cues for clarity, that I call it, where we ask ourselves, what we're trying to do is identify, am I having a transference right now? How do you do that? Simply. You don't even have to call it a transference. It doesn't even matter. That's what it is, though. What is a transference? It means I'm having a response in real time that is being fueled by an unresolved injury from the past. Someone is reminding me this situation is similar in some way, and it's kicking up a fear that like now is then, even though intellectually we know it's not. So the 3 cues are this. Right now, who does this person remind me of? Where have I felt like this before? And how is this behavioral dynamic, the way I'm interacting with this person? Maybe you're trying to get someone's attention, but they won't take their face out of their phone. And it's so triggering. Did you have a parent who ignored you, who stayed on the phone, right? Who you would have to say their name many, many times, or they forgot to pick you up at school or whatever. We all have our stories as to why would something be more triggering than something else.
Yes.
So I don't feel like if you don't know yourself well enough, right? I don't feel like we can't go into relationships and expect other people to be responsible for our activation points or our triggers. Now, you can expect your partner to care, right? I've been with my husband 28 years. He does not have to understand everything that's going on for me. But if I'm upset about something, he has to care. If he's upset about something, I care. Now, I don't need him to write a dissertation on why. The most important thing is that if he's upset, that matters to me.
This is a huge thing in relationships. And it requires us to get out of our righteousness of like, you're wrong about that. Like Eric and I went through this, I think about 2 years ago, where we would just get into a debate about righteousness. And then I was like, whoa. We're both like, what are we doing? And we both came to this resolution of like, need to have empathy for each other. Like, yeah, we just
Yes.
need to care. Like there's something real that's happening for you. And even if I can't see it, feel it, touch it, I have no idea what the heck is happening. I
Yes.
get to cultivate the empathy to go, you're having an activation right now. And I love you so much. And I care about that.
Yes.
That's so good.
And that changes everything though, Sam, because a lot of times, and this there really is and can be a gender sort of bias here, right? Where, doing this so long, I find that, women want to be understood, men want to be respected. Like there are differences, but
For sure.
but we all want to be loved and we all want to be cared about. And I think that this is where effective communication and boundaries are so important, because you may have someone who will say, well, that doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't feel bad about that, which is kind of like closing the barn door after the horses are already out.
Yeah.
Like, what fucking good does that do me now for you to tell me I shouldn't feel the way that I already fucking feel? Like, I literally already feel this way. So what you're doing is judging my feeling. And so getting really clear. I remember years and years ago with my husband, Vic, being able to just say, I don't need your approval,
Yeah.
right? I need your understanding. I need your compassion. I need your empathy. But like, because he would try to, be either auto fixing, which I was like, absolutely not. There's you are not I don't need you to fix.
Yeah.
I need you to hang with me in the hard part. And for many of us, especially high functioning codependents, which we'll get to too, but it's very hard
Yeah.
to not want to fix when someone is in pain. But
Absolutely.
it really is the most loving thing you can possibly do.
Absolutely. One of the things that has really worked for us in the last little while is when I'm activated about something, I don't go into like explaining why I'm activated. I start with, and this is so simple, but oh my Lord, has it worked? I just start with, hey babe, I'm really sad. And then I'd shut up. Like I don't tell him why. And I create this space for him to go, oh, what's going on? And there's something about just like starting with the felt sense of like the vulnerability of like, I feel really sad.
Yeah.
Or babe, I feel mad right now. And like, that's it. And just like, shut up. That has helped so much for us.
So think about what you did. Like if we break down what you did is that you took out the step of writing a dissertation about your feeling, of justifying your right to feel that way, of building a case for your feelings.
Yeah.
So when you're in a relationship where we both have an agreement that our feelings are valid and that we will care about each other's feelings, even when we don't understand them, you're now starting from a place where you can say, babe, I'm sad.
Yeah.
And he can not feel defensive. He cannot feel blamed. He cannot be like, well, I don't get it. I do everything for you.
Yes.
Like, right? Where you're like, my sadness isn't about you. And if it is, I'll tell you.
For sure. For sure.
But again, we're taking out the reaction and creating this expansion to just be, to just allow without fixing. Because that the auto fixing is a problem for both men and women, where it makes us uncomfortable when the people we love are in pain.
Yeah.
And so we really want to have the thing that's going to fix them.
Yeah.
From being in pain. And yet before you do that, even if you have great ideas, we have to ask expansive questions. We have to allow the person to feel how they're feeling. We want other people to allow us to feel how we're feeling. And I always look at it like fixing someone's problem, like, isn't the love flex it can feel like in the moment. The real flex, the actual flex, is being able to tolerate our own discomfort around their pain. It's like being with them during a dark night of the soul in the fucking foxhole and not trying to fix and just saying, I'm here.
But doesn't that come down to like that person having a lot of nervous system regulation to be able to hold? Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. And it's so much that I walk people through in my courses. It has everything to do with the breath work that you do. It has everything to do with meditation, that to tolerate the way we feel, we have to practice.
Yeah.
And we have to realize that being uncomfortable is a part of being a human being. And to raise our emotional intelligence, which is basically what we're doing, we have to be able to handle our physical activations.
So it's everything. It's like that nervous system resilience to be able to, at pause, we call it like the context of like the strength of our nervous system, the context to hold, and then the content that arises. And if we don't have a strong context, the content can just completely derail us and strip us from our center, and we can't see straight. And then when we can't see straight, we become our inner child, and we're just fighting from that place, fighting dirty, as you call it, which I freaking love that. Can you give us a little example around like fighting dirty, what that means? Give us an example of that. And then what is like the next cut for people in relationships who are like, I'm so done with fighting dirty because I know how it erodes my relationship.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, probably the worst thing in fighting dirty, and really, not to be snooty, but it is a bit pedestrian, because it really doesn't take a rocket scientist to know the meanest thing to say to the person you're closest to. We know the underbelly. We know the soft side of the people we love. So it isn't knowing it isn't anything. True love means you never fucking say it. You resist the temptation to win. You resist the temptation to win, because you could put them down with that information. But here's the thing. The cost is so great. So if someone tells you something in confidence, you know the deep insecurity of your partner. Of course you do. And if in a fight you threw that up and were like, well, if you were a real man, like let's say your partner has like worries about that, that would be the meanest thing. And what's interesting is the way that I frame it in my own mind is like, in my marriage, right? Vic is my person. I would never tolerate anyone else talking shit about Vic without absolutely throwing down. Like, no, there will be no one, not the kids, nobody. Nobody talks bad about him, Yeah. So why would I do that?
Yes. Oh, that's
right.
So
the
good.
world is so hard. Like, when we can have. Oh, I want to stay on course though with what I want to say about this, because it's important. That when you fight dirty, throwing up things from the past, name calling, mentioning someone's physical something that they don't like about themselves, and you saying something mean about it, whatever it is, saying, oh, your ex-wife was right about you, whatever, your mother was right about you. There's a million ways to fight dirty. You are not an emotionally safe person. So what we're really talking about, without emotional safety, there is no trust in a relationship, because at any point they could verbally stab you in the jugular, right? So you will be defended, you will feel unsafe, you will feel judged, because here's the thing. If you fight dirty, you are unsafe. You're both unsafe. If you both do it. You're like, well, you do it. I say, your greatest power in life, at least I feel like this is mine, is that nobody has the power to make me behave lower than my own level of integrity.
Ooh, that's so good, Terri. Oof. That's so good.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Because I got to live with that, right? So within we have these agreements about fair fighting, and what does it look like? Is that just no low blows.
Yeah.
You know what they are. Learn to communicate. If you don't know how, Harville Hendrix and Helen Hendrix have written this amazing script from Imago Therapy. Keeping the Love You Find is a fantastic book about that. Learn about boundaries. Read my books. Like, there's a million ways for you to figure it out. But know that I don't think there's any relationships, if you want deep intimacy, that can sustain that type of dirty fighting. Because what happens is you're building back. You're always building back from an injury. When you fight dirty in a relationship.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's the rupture and the repair, but you're probably not doing the repair very well. But it's sort of like, now someone's kissing someone's ass a little bit because maybe they did the mean thing, or maybe I'll make their favorite food, but you're not handling what needs to be handled, which is, why are you fighting in a way that your rage is such that you would say a mean and terrible thing? You know, I did couples many years ago, and one of my clients was like, well, the wife was like, I can't deal with how much he screams when we're trying to figure something out. It's just endlessly screaming. It is so stressful. I came from a quiet house. We never did that, whatever. And he said, that's what my parents did. Like, I thought that's what married people did, you know? And I was like, we have choices, right?
So good.
Married people do a lot of things, and a lot of things we don't want to do.
For sure.
But to covet and to really protect the sovereignty of your relationship and the sanctity and the sacredness of that, I think our goal has to be to really have it be a safe place. No walking on eggshells. Do not be in relationship with people that you fear. And if you are, we have to understand what you're repeating. And you probably had these experiences in childhood.
Yeah.
But it's possible to be in a relationship with someone who you do not fear, who you do not walk on eggshells around, who does not hurt you when they're mad.
Oh, so good. The freedom in that is just extraordinary. Like, how can you have deep love without safety? Like, you cannot. You know, absolutely cannot. Quick little pause here, because I need to let you in on something that has honestly changed how I run my business. It was so overwhelming. We had so many different tools, emails, funnels, scheduling things, pipelines, payments. It was honestly such a mess. And then I discovered Go High Level. It's literally an all-in-one platform where I can run my entire business under one roof. You guys, it feels so good to go into one platform and see all of our dashboards, the money that we make, the clients that came in, where everybody is. It is so clean and so easy. The automated follow-ups are amazing. The landing pages are amazing. You can even run your memberships and online programs on Go High Level. It's honestly freaking awesome. It doesn't just save me money. It has given me back my sanity in my business because I have complete clarity and confidence where everything is. So if you've been looking for a way to streamline your business, to scale faster, to remove the headaches of like tech and all of that complication and just get back to doing what you freaking love, I have partnered with Go High Level to give you guys a 30-day experience so you can test drive it yourself, see how you love it. Just head on over to pausebreathwork.com/high level. That's pausebreathwork.com/high level. I will also put the link to the free trial in the show notes. And seriously, once you see how powerful this is, you're going to wonder how you freaking ran your business without it. So go to pausebreathwork.com/high level. Let's talk about high functioning codependency. It's a topic that you educated me on probably like 5 years ago now. And when you shared it with me, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many women in my community, including myself, who had these traits of high functioning codependency. And it's so interesting because it can be something that's so socially acceptable and so praised in our society. So can you explain and really define for us, because this is by the way, everyone listening, go get Terri's last book called Too Much. Oh my God. That's the one. Yeah. You interviewed me on that one. Yeah.
Yes.
It's so good. It's so good. But define for us what high functioning codependency is and how we can begin to break free of that and liberate ourselves from that like inner angst.
Okay. So I define high functioning codependency as you being overly invested in the feeling states, the decisions, the outcomes, the circumstances, the finances, the careers of the people in your life, to the detriment of your own internal peace, to the detriment of your emotional, could be your financial well-being. So let's be clear. As women in particular, but as men too, of course, we're invested in the happiness of the people we love.
Yeah.
But when you're high-functioning codependent, it's not just invested. It's overly invested to the point of feeling responsible for. That is such an important distinction. So I coined this phrase because I have all of these incredibly high-achieving type A, type women in my therapy practice for decades. And they're literally masters of the universe. They're like you. Yeah. They're doing all the things. They're building the empires. They're making all the money. They're doing the thing. If I would see a codependent pattern and I would bring it up and say, hey, what I'm seeing in that relationship, that's a codependent pattern, they would immediately reject the notion. They would either say, what? Codependent? I'm not dependent on anybody. Everybody's dependent on me. I'm making all the money. I'm making all the moves. I'm doing all the emotional labor. And I'm not involved with an alcoholic or an addict. So what are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, nobody knows what codependency is. Like, they really don't.
Yeah.
Being unduly influenced by the, seminal text by Melanie Beatty, God rest her soul, where it very much was around enabling addictive behavior, bad behavior, toxic behavior. Yeah. So what I saw was something different because they were all suffering in a very similar way. So when I was able to add high functioning to codependency, suddenly they were all like, me, I'm the problem, it's me, without shame, not to quote Taylor, but I will. And they were like, I am exhausted. You're right. Like, I am burnt out. I am doing all the things for other people. So let's get clear about what are the traits of an HFC. Okay. Feeling responsible for fixing other people's problems.
Yeah.
We are like the most incredible problem solvers. We can't stop giving you our grade A advice. We're always ready to jump into damage control. So we're really good people to have around in a crisis. We might be feeling exhausted, resentful, a little bitter, a little underappreciated. Yeah. Right? The behaviors themselves look like auto advice giving. Can't stop. Being overly self-sacrificing, like always ready to take one for the team. Auto accommodating. And this is in public spaces too.
Yeah.
We see a need. We're online for the 12 or less. Person behind us has one thing. We have 4 things. We're like, oh, you go ahead of me. You do it without even thinking. We're constantly accommodating to what's happening. If these 2 people want to sit together, we're like, oh, I'll move, whatever. Like, we're so dialed into our environment and trying to anticipate problems and sort of nip them before they can happen.
Right.
We have anticipatory planning, which is, you're going to be with difficult people sometimes. So or anything, throwing a party, we always think of everything that could go wrong and make sure that we've handled everything. Yeah. Or I had this example that I put in the book that I have these 2 uncles, 2 fucking idiots, who would come to my house at Christmas time, but don't talk to each other. Right. So I'd be like, my one sister, I'd be like, well, you're on Uncle Jimmy, you're on Uncle Bobby. I would make sure I had the booze that they drank. Like, I was like the marionette, the puppeteer, instead of just being like, can you 2 55-year-olds act fucking normal? And if not, don't come to Christmas, right? Instead, I'm twisting myself up into a pretzel to like, there's nothing I can't do. Not even figure these 2 people out. And then the last thing I'll say about some of the traits, qualities, behaviors in being a high-functioning codependent is there's a lot of self-abandonment that comes within these behaviors.
Yeah. Dude, is there the gnarly storm happening where you're at?
Yes.
Okay, I'm like, what am I hearing in the background?
It is insane. Of course, my geese are very happy. My geese are in there. They're in their pool with their faces up like, yay. So
I miss that. It feels nice to hear that. San Diego, we're just like 74 and sunny every day. What you got? I miss those like nice East Coast storms.
I love it. I love it. I tried Cali. I tried it. I was like, another sunny day. I'm going to blow my brains out. I can't. I can't with all the sun all the time. Cannot. No.
Oh my God, I love you. That's so funny. Okay, so here's where my codependency pops up. So when your book came out and I was like, I really felt into, I feel like I've cleaned up a lot of my codependency in relationships and just like general living. My codependency was in my business.
Yes.
Like, oh my Lord, Terri. I was
Yep.
like, holy shit, I'm codependent on this business. And it's
And
like,
also,
I like overextend I don't do it. I'm getting so much better. I'm not there yet, but I've come so far since your book came out. Cause I just really saw with pause, I'm like, I am in a codependent relationship with my business. I overextend myself in my business to my team members. I'm like, oh, you don't got that? Let me jump in. I got it. I'll do that. I'll push the sale over for you. I'll write that copy. I'll do this. I got it. You're not feeling, you're tired. Oh my God. And I was like, Jesus, mother of God. And so I got to clean that up over the last, like, when did your book come out? Like October or something?
yes, October of 24.
Yeah. Like I've been cleaning up since then. And it's equally so liberating and terrifying at the same time, you know? Because I think sometimes when you change how you show up for people, they can feel a little bit discombobulated until the relationship recalibrates into something that's more truthful.
Yes.
And that's what I got to do with my team.
Which is amazing, because what happens is you've been doing a dance with these people.
Yeah.
And now you come in with like new dance moves. And of course they're going to be like, hey, I do this, then you do that. What do you mean? And so I call it the in-between. Like when we're making these changes, it's like, we can't do the old stuff because we're too healthy. We're too knowledgeable. It is now in our awareness. We've yet to master the new stuff yet, but you're getting there. And the more you do it, the better it gets. But how do you feel? How differently do you feel now that you're less codependent in your business?
I feel free. I feel like the urge of like, I'm going to jump in. I now have this visualization where like, cause I feel it bubbling in my body. Like the sensation still feels there, but the behavior's not anymore. And I'm excited for the sensation just to not be there, but we're getting there.
Yes.
I feel it like bubbling in my body and it comes in like, I'm going to die. And then I'm like, how can I redirect this energy into a way that is actually going to be reciprocal and life-giving for me? And so I'll take that energy and I'm like, I'm going to create the best like chapter of this book, or I'm going to create a video that like feels so inspiring, or I'm going to just do what I want in this business and not do someone else's job. And that has felt so good. So good. So now I'm just still working with like the feeling of like the feeling still is there, but the behavior's not.
I love that distinction though, Sam, because I always say this to my clients and to people in my courses and my mastermind, like as we evolve, we don't become different people. We just become healthier versions of the amazing people we already were.
Love that.
So when people are like, am I going to be totally free from whatever? I'm like, no, probably not. Right? If you are not a confrontational person, are you going to love setting hard boundaries with people? You may never love it. Right?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
All I care about is that you do it. So what happens is, the more you do it, the less you'll feel that, because this has started to become your new normal, where you're not overextending in that way, where you are expecting people to take responsibility for what they're supposed to be doing and accountability, right? Because that's another thing that we were going to talk about, and that's another part of it, you know?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. The question is, how do we hold people accountable with love? You know, I think sometimes like I have a lot of experiences of like people learning boundaries for the first time and then just coming out guns fucking blazing.
Oh, they can't
you know
wait.
What I'm saying?
They just want a bullhorn so bad.
Yeah. Like I have so many memories of that. And I'm like, yo, boundaries with love. You haven't come across Terri's work yet. So like, how do we hold boundaries with love? How do we hold people accountable with love? Because if it's done with anything other than love, it's such a misfire and it does more harm than good.
Well, here's the thing. You can do it with love and kindness. Sometimes we need a little spice. Sometimes you need a little heat. Listen, if it's Bob from accounting and he's being inappropriate, we don't need to really do it with love. We just need to fucking do it. So he stops his bullshit, right?
Right.
So it depends on the situation. I agree that in our VIP relationships, we really want to be approaching it with love and compassion. But again, what your boundaries are, that's for you to decide. And I think that this is a perfect place to make the distinction between my boundary, meaning what is okay for me, and your behavior. So I have this client who, she and her husband wanted to go to bed at different times. So she liked to go to bed early, he liked to go to bed late. So this was like a constant sort of bummer for her because she wanted to go to bed at the same time or whatever it was. And she was like trying to convince me. She's making a case. She's building a case for me to be on her side. Whereas she's telling me, she's like, and he should listen. I told him, this is my boundary. He also needs to be coming to bed because he's got to work in the morning and he's not sleeping enough and he needs to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, let's get clear about what's happening. And then he would be coming into bed at midnight after she's been in bed since 9, flip on the light, wake her up. He falls asleep. She now can't go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, we need to parse this out, right? When your husband goes to bed because he's a grown man and he has to work tomorrow, all of that is not your side of the street. He's a grown-up. You can think that. There's really none of your business because he's 45. Like, he can go to bed when he wants. What you care about, is you would like to meet in the middle and go to bed a few nights a week together so you can have sex or whatever it is that you're wanting to do. That's one thing to bring up. And it's okay to ask him to get dressed in the second bedroom, to get undressed, to not flip on the light. You can also wear an eye mask so that if there's a little light on, it may not wake you up. Like, let's find a compromise. But when he goes to bed, you can ask for a compromise, but that judgment is not a boundary. So we need to be clear about that. Boundaries are not levers of control to control other people. But her side of the street was, I've been asleep for 2 hours and you're being inconsiderate and you're waking me up. Yeah. Okay. That is a legitimate request to change his behavior. Make sense?
100%. Yeah. It's so interesting for us to just I like how you said, let's unpack this. Let's see what's actually happening here. How can we create a win-win here? What does that look like for us? It's like, I love how you say, it's not me against you. It's us against the problem. Exactly. And depersonalizing that makes it so much easier to go, hey, here's the situation at hand. Here's the issue. It's one thing that came up for Eric and I this year was I love to travel. I have such an appetite for travel. Him and I want to have kids soon. So I feel this extra let's travel like crazy before we get pregnant. And he's a Taurus. He loves being at home. He's just he's I don't want to travel. Let's just stay at home. Life is so great here. I don't. So there's this a little bit of this rub of whenever I traveled, he was getting a little annoyed. And I was come on, I want to go do something. So yeah, it's just okay, here's the issue at hand. How can we both be satiated in that? How can we both do that? And we came to the agreement. It's hey, we don't have to go on every trip together. You don't have to come. Yes. It's even with family stuff, he felt obligated to come on every single family trip that I do. Well, I see my family all the time. So I was yo, you don't have to come to Canada all the time with me. I go there a lot. He's really? I'm yeah. And he's oh my God, that's so amazing to hear. I don't have to come, And so there's been a couple trips this year where he didn't come and it was actually perfect because he got to be at home, build his dreams, stay here. I got to have deeper, intimate time with my family, and it was such a win-win.
Yeah. It's so beautiful though when you're creating what's right for you guys, right? Yeah. Every container is different. And I actually do quite a bit of traveling without Vic because we have animals here and he loves to be here. Yeah. And we travel together too, but I find that there's something about being away where we're bringing energy back into the relationship. Yes. When we do things and have experiences without each other. We are bringing, I just did this week-long thing with Esther Perel in Costa Rica, which is called Erotic Intelligence. It was a week on erotic intelligence with a whole bunch of psychotherapists and regular people. It was amazing. And that was one thing that she talked about was that as we bring new experiences into the relationship, you are infusing the relationship with erotic energy, which is just the energy of life. Yeah. And that two things that I thought were super helpful, which I'll just throw out since we're talking about relationships, is asking the question, before you're thinking about what's happening within your relationship, is asking yourself, what do I do to turn myself off? And what do I do to turn myself on?
Oh, I love that.
And
love that.
Right? Just journal about those things. Like maybe watching too much Netflix is a way that you turn yourself off.
Yeah.
Maybe walking in the woods is how you turn yourself on. But it's
so
taking
good.
responsibility for the energy that we are bringing to, because, you know, we've been 28 years is a long time to still really like somebody.
100%. But it's taking full ownership for our aliveness, for our turn on, for our energy, which like oftentimes, and that can be a codependent thing as well, of like, you need to turn me on. You need to make me feel sexy. You need to do this. When really it's like, we can have full body orgasms all day long. We can do that.
Yep.
We can be in like the isness, the juice of life.
Yes. And from an emotional point of view, right? If I'm having all these other experiences and bringing it back to Vic, and Vic is having these other experiences because he gets embedded in war zones and does lots of other things where he's infusing a whole bunch of energy into the relationship, it stays interesting. So it's each couple has to figure out what is their togetherness quota and what is their separateness quota. And are we allowed to be separate, to have separate relationships? I travel with my girlfriends at times too. Like, is that allowed in the relationship? And I feel like it's so important to have those agreements. For sure.
Yeah. I always come back a better person after I've gone on a trip without him. Like if I go to, like for instance, last month, I flew to Austin, spoke, hung out with all of my friends in the Archangel community who I've been friends with for like a decade. And I just got so inspired and stimulated and just like, and I came back as just a better version. Yeah. And I could bring that into the relationship. I love that so much. I really believe that individuation and finding the self is just so critical in relationships to keep the spark alive.
Not to mention, it's so critical, especially if you're going to have kids, and you are, that you guys, you know, we get as fully developed, and we keep developing, of course, but that we know ourselves so that we're not like unduly burdening children with our identification. And like, my whole identity is being your mother, which is a lot of pressure on a kid, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. One of my girlfriends, she's got like 3 kids now. She's in her 50s. And she said to me the other day, she looked at me in the eye and she goes, do not take too much time off work. She's like, do not lose yourself in motherhood. You have to have that balance because you are going to hate it. And I'm like, I'm so glad you said that, because so much of it is like, be fully present, take as much time off as you need. And the truth of the truth of the truth is like, I'm so obsessed with my work. Like, I love it. I love like being here with you, talking to one of my favorite people on this earth and serving people. Like, come on, like, it's so good. Right. And if I just had someone sucking on my tits all day long without hanging out with you, I know I wouldn't like it. I know I'd be like, oh God.
And giving yourself permission, because for the people who their devotion and what they wanted to do was that, good for them.
100%.
But you have to know yourself. And I think that there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure, and it definitely depends on the circles that you travel in to do it one way or another. Yes. And we have to, you know, forge our own path. It's like the hero's journey, right? You got to figure out what is right for you and what makes
right for you.
The best version of yourself. And I think for a lot of us who are founders, right, it's still having that, because our businesses are our babies too, you know?
Yeah. I think one of the most valuable things, and we kind of touched on this at the beginning, of like our preferences, our limits, and our deal breakers, is like, what are those preferences? Like last night, I was at one of my girlfriend's house, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, I just signed up for this like adult ballet class. It's 3 times a week. Please come. It's going to be amazing. And I just tuned in and I'm like, that sounds fucking awful. I was forced to do ballet for 17 years. There's no way I'm going to voluntarily take a ballet class. I looked at her and I'm like, Jess, I love you and I will never come. If it was hip hop, contemporary, anything else, right? And it's like just speaking my preferences in real time. And she just looks at me and she goes, all right, that's clear.
I love it. Because knowing it's not yourself. Personal to Jess.
Yes.
It's personal to Sam.
100%. I'm like, I'll do anything else with you, but go to ballet.
A good thing Jess didn't make up ballet. I'm like, are you the originator of this dance? You're not.
Exactly. Oh my God, Terri Cole. I love being in your space. I just love hanging out with you. You are just a wealth of knowledge. You've just been, I mean, you've been in the game forever, just like perfecting your craft and optimizing you just everything. And just you've served thousands and thousands and thousands of people at this point in time in your programs, in your mastermind, with your books. I'm just such a fan of you and just love you so much. Oh. Where can this community get amongst you, your magic, to really like up level in their life and relationships?
Right on. So free gift, go to terricole.com/HFC, which is high functioning codependency. Nice. And I just created a little toolkit. Simplify, do less. We've got a self-love meditation. We've got the power of no meditation. Just easy breezy stuff to sort of, if the high functioning codependency stuff really spoke to you, my feeling is go there and continue to explore. I hang out mostly on Instagram. I also have a podcast, as you know, because you just are on my pod again. We're going to be releasing that by the end of the year. So it's just called The Terri Cole Show that I've had for 10 years in September.
So incredible. Are we going to have a party? Should we have a podcast party?
I feel like we should do something. I mean, my team is planning something, but you're like, what? Like, what's the deal?
Let's meet in New York. Let's hang out. Let's chill. Let's go shopping. Let's do some fun shit, you know?
That sounds good. That's only 3 hours for me.
I would totally come up for that. I love New York. Any excuse to come to New York, I'm a yes.
It's so true. It's my fave. Anyway, I love you. Thank you for being here. And you guys, I also have a community if anyone's interested. So just go terricole.com. All the things are there.
Terricole.com. You'll find all the stuff. Hit her up on Instagram. I'm also going to put all of the links to all of the things. terricole.com/HFC. My brain was went. Okay, I'll put that in the show notes as well. Terri, thank you so much. And you have a book coming out at the end of 2026. I
do.
We can't mention that though yet, can we?
I mean, it's going to be about people who have father wounds.
Oh my God, I can't wait. It's
how to get over a father wound.
I'll keep that a surprise, but holy moly, it's going to be so good. So good.
Love it. All right, to be continued. I love you.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.